Victor Wembanyama came into the NBA with so much hype that he is already under pressure to perform well from day one. This century, there have been only two players, LeBron James and Zion Williamson, who got all the attention like the Frenchman. The number one pick of the 2023 NBA draft ended up with the San Antonio Spurs and will have a chance to work with and play for one of the best coaches ever, Greg Popovich. Pop will provide everything Wembanyama needs to become a great player, and the fans, and especially the NBA analysts, will have no patience to see the 7'4" Frenchman shine on the brightest basketball stage. But before Wembanyama starts his rookie season, let's look back at his origins and early basketball career. And most importantly, let's see if he is worth all the hype. Wembanyama was born on January 4th, 2004 in Le Chesnay, just outside Paris, to his parents, Felix Wembanyama and Elodie de Fodero. Victor's father, Felix, is a native of the Democratic Republic of Congo. He is 6'6" tall and was a track and field athlete competing in the long jump, high jump, and triple jump. Even though his father wasn't into basketball, Victor owns a lot of his athleticism to him. Not just because of genetics, but for the valuable lessons as well. If you are wondering where the love for basketball comes from, it is definitely from his mother. Elodie is 6'3" tall, and she played professionally before becoming a youth basketball coach. She was the one who introduced the game to his son, and it was definitely the right decision. Victor is the second child in his family. He has an older sister named Eve and a young brother named Oscar. Victor started playing soccer and practicing judo at an early age before fully focusing on basketball. He joined the local club Entente Le Chesnay Versailles at the age of 7, and 3 years later joined the youth system of Nanterre 92 at age 10. He was standing out with his size and potential, and at the age of 15, Wembanyama became a pro, signing a deal with Nanterre 92. He made his professional debut in October 2019 against Brescia in the Euro Cup. At 15 years, 9 months, and 25 days, he was the second youngest player ever in the Euro Cup. In the 2020-21 season, he made his debut in the LNB Pro A-League, which is the highest level of competition in France. By then, he was a member of the French under-16 and under-18 national teams and was already getting attention from the NBA scouts. At the beginning of that season, Wembanyama featured in a viral video of him practicing with a couple of French NBA players, Rudy Gobert and Vincent Poirier, and the entire world heard of this young French phenomenon. Unfortunately, he suffered an ankle injury and was sidelined for over 2 months. Still, he started in 10 of 18 games in the LNB Pro A that season, averaging 6.8 points and 4.7 rebounds per game, and was named Pro of Best Young Player. In the 2021 offseason, Wembanyama signed a 3-year deal with Asvel, one of the best teams in France, which competes in the EuroLeague and, by the way, is owned by Tony Parker. Soon, he made his debut in the EuroLeague and was selected from the LNB Pro and All-Star game, but was unable to play due to an injury. At the end of the season, he opted out of his contract with Asvel and joined Metropolitans 92. It was an ideal situation for him, as he played a lot of minutes and was already seen as the potential number 1 pick. In October 2022, he gained recognition from American media after 2 exhibition games against the NBA G League Ignite. He scored 37 and 36 points in those games. And if there were any doubts that he would end up like the first overall pick, there weren't any from that moment on. He became so popular that the NBA announced that it would stream all Metropolitans' 92 regular season and playoff games on its app. At one point, he had 4 consecutive 30-plus points games and finished the season averaging 21.6 points, 10.4 rebounds, and 3.1 blocks per game. He was selected to the All-Pro A First Team and named Best Defender, Best Scorer, Best Young Player, and Best Blocker. His team lost in the playoffs to Monaco, and Wembanyama could fully focus on the NBA draft since then. He was projected to be the number 1 pick in every single analysis. His draft profile noted that his height, combined with his well-rounded skill set, makes him one of the highest ceiling prospects most scouts have ever seen. Despite being well over 7 feet tall, he can handle and shoot the ball like a playmaking wing, but he has skills in the post as well, allowing him to simply shoot over smaller defenders. He's a willing passer, able to punish double teams. Wembenyama's length will make him extremely disruptive as a defender and rebounder. His relative quickness will allow him to defend some on the perimeter, where he's capable of blocking jumpers. Wembenyama definitely possesses the talent and the potential to become an all-star very soon, and probably the cornerstone of another Spurs dynasty. You have probably heard all this, everybody praising Wembanyama, but the truth is that he will have to earn everything in this league, and nothing but playing time would be given to him. As big of a deal as he is, we have to look the other way too. Can things go wrong for him? Is he really ready for the NBA? Does he have a target on his back from day one? All these are topics that nobody really talks about, but we definitely will. Maybe Wembanyama's offensive skill set is ready for the big league, but his body is definitely not. Being 7'4", Wembanyama is way skinny for the NBA. And that is the first thing that he needs to work on. The truth is that when Giannis Antetokounmpo came into the league, he was just like Wembanyama and even grew a couple of inches during his rookie year on his way to becoming the Greek Freak, a 2-time NBA MVP and an NBA champion. So many would say, if Giannis could do it, why Wembanyama couldn't? So even though we hope and wish Wembanyama to become an NBA superstar, he may have a much more difficult road than Giannis. Wembanyama's height is in the zone where not many basketball players can survive an NBA season without injuries. Speaking of potential injuries, just look at Chet Holmgren, who was drafted by the Oklahoma City Thunder with the 2nd pick at the 2022 NBA Draft. The prospect from Gonzaga has a similar body frame to Wembanyama, and he got injured playing a pickup game against NBA players. So, questioning his strength is, without a doubt, something that he will face as he goes into the NBA. Another thing that no one really talks about is the competition that Wembanyama has faced so far in his career. As we mentioned, he came for Metropolitan's 92 in the French LNB Pro A-League. That is a team that has never won the championship in that league and has never played in a significant international competition. So basically, Wembanyama was playing on an NCAA Division II level. And we know that not many players from that level are actually going into the NBA. Coming from Europe, many are comparing Wembanyama with Luka Doncic or Nikola Jokic, but there is a huge difference between them. When Luka Doncic came into the league, he wasn't seen as the #1 prospect of that class, even though he was actually the best player in Europe. Being 19 years old at the time, Luka was the MVP of the EuroLeague, the 2nd best basketball league in the world behind the NBA. He led the famous Real Madrid to the title in that league and previously won the Eurobasket with Slovenia. All that in a competition with the best players in Europe. Nikola Jokic didn't play exactly on that level, but he was a product of the best European team for young talent, Mega from Serbia. This team has produced tens of NBA players in the last decade, and as a matter of fact, Jokic won the MVP award in the ABA League, which is also a top 5 league in Europe. Another thing that is under a huge question mark is how Wembanyama will adapt to the NBA. He is already thrown under the spotlight, and it is a huge pressure that he will have to handle well at a very young age. As mentioned, the Spurs are the best possible place he could go, and the organization will have his back. But Wembanyama needs to earn the respect of his opponents on the court. The entire NBA is looking for the next big thing from Europe since Dirk Nowitzki proved to be a game changer for the Dallas Mavericks. It's been more than 20 years since Nowitzki was found in a small German city and thrown into the NBA. And since then, there have been many busts in the search for the new European wunderkind. We are not saying that Wembanyama will end up like one, but on every Nowitzki, Jokic, or Doncic, there are many players like Darko Milicic, Nikolos Tsikashvili, or Andris Biedrins. So we definitely want to see Wembanyama becoming a superstar in his rookie season, but he will need to prove that he is actually the type of player who deserves all this hype, and not many will be patient enough to wait for him. Comment down below if you think he's worth the hype. Thanks for sticking around and subscribe to the channel to improve your basketball knowledge.